ground wire can melt without tripping a circuit breaker for several reasons. Firstly, insufficient current may be the cause. The ground wire might not have been carrying enough current to actuate the circuit breaker. Circuit breakers are designed to trip at a specific amperage. If the current flowing through the ground wire remains below that threshold, the breaker will not trip, thus allowing the wire to melt. Secondly, a slow-acting circuit breaker could be the issue. This type of breaker takes a longer time to trip compared to a fast-acting one. This delay can allow the ground wire to overheat and melt before the breaker finally responds and trips. Thirdly, the circuit breaker itself may be faulty. Circuit breakers can fail due to various factors, including age, normal wear and tear, or manufacturing defects. A faulty breaker might not trip when it should, regardless of the current flowing through the ground wire. The ground wire likely melted because it was carrying too much current for an extended period. The circuit breaker's slow response or its faulty condition allowed the ground wire to overheat and eventually melt before the breaker could interrupt the circuit. Ground wires are crucial components of any electrical system. They are essential for protecting individuals and property from electrical shock and fire hazards. Never remove or bypass them. If a ground wire melts, replace it immediately to ensure continuous safety and proper functioning of the electrical system. Consider the function of a ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI. It is designed to protect people from electrical shock. It works by monitoring the current flowing in the hot and neutral wires of a circuit. If there is a difference of more than a few milliamperes between the two currents, the GFCI will trip, cutting off the power to the circuit. This difference in current indicates that some of the current is leaking to ground, which could be a sign of an electrical shock hazard. Ground fault circuit interrupters are required in many locations in homes, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoors. They are also used in industrial and commercial settings. It is important to test ground fault circuit interrupters regularly to ensure that they are working properly. To test a GFCI, press the test button on the device. The GFCI should trip, cutting off the power to the circuit. If the GFCI does not trip, it should be replaced. A ground wire is a wire that provides a path for electrical current to flow back to the source in the event of a fault. This helps to protect people from electrical shock and to prevent fires. Ground wires are typically made of copper or aluminum, and they are usually green or bare. They are connected to the grounding system of a building, which is a network of wires and metal rods that are buried in the ground. The grounding system provides a low-resistance path for electrical current to flow back to the source. This helps to prevent the buildup of voltage on metal objects, which could cause an electrical shock. Ground wires are required in most electrical circuits. They are especially important in circuits that serve appliances and equipment that could pose a shock hazard, such as refrigerators, washing machines, and power tools. It is important to make sure that ground wires are properly connected. If a ground wire is not properly connected, it could create a shock hazard. To check a ground wire, use a multimeter to measure the voltage between the ground wire and the neutral wire. The voltage should be close to 0 volts. If the voltage is higher than a few volts, there may be a problem with the grounding system. If you have any questions about ground wires or grounding systems, consult with a qualified electrician. Bonding is the electrical connection of all non-current carrying metal parts in an electrical system. This includes things like metal conduit, metal enclosures, and metal equipment. Bonding helps to ensure that all of these metal parts are at the same electrical potential. This is important because it can help to prevent electrical shock. If there is a fault in the electrical system, the fault current will flow through the bonding system back to the source. This will cause the circuit breaker to trip, which will cut off the power to the circuit. Bonding is required by the National Electrical Code, or NEC, in most electrical systems. The NEC specifies the size and type of bonding conductors that must be used. It also specifies how the bonding conductors must be connected. It is important to have a qualified electrician install and maintain the bonding system in your electrical system. This will help to ensure that the system is safe and effective. An equipment grounding conductor, or EG, is a conductor that connects the non-current carrying metal parts of equipment to the grounding system at the service. The equipment grounding conductor provides a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to trip the circuit breaker and clear the fault. The equipment grounding conductor is typically a green or bare copper wire. It must be sized according to the NEC. The size of the equipment grounding conductor depends on the size of the overcurrent protection device protecting the circuit. The equipment grounding conductor must be installed in the same raceway or cable as the circuit conductors. This helps to ensure that the equipment grounding conductor will be able to carry the fault current back to the source quickly and efficiently. It is important to make sure that the equipment grounding conductor is properly connected. If the equipment grounding conductor is not properly connected, it could create a shock hazard. To check the equipment grounding conductor, use a multimeter to measure the voltage between the equipment grounding conductor and the neutral conductor. The voltage should be close to 0 volts. If the voltage is higher than a few volts, there may be a problem with the equipment grounding system. If you have any questions about equipment grounding conductors or equipment grounding systems, consult with a qualified electrician. Grounding electrode conductors, or GECs, connect the grounding electrode to the equipment grounding system. Grounding electrodes are typically metal rods, pipes, or plates that are buried in the ground. They provide a low resistance path for fault current to flow back to the source. Grounding electrode conductors are typically made of copper or aluminum. They must be sized according to the NEC. The size of the grounding electrode conductor depends on the size of the service entrance conductors. Grounding electrode conductors must be installed in a way that protects them from damage. They should be installed in a raceway or cable, or they should be buried at least 18 inches below the surface of the ground. It is important to make sure that the grounding electrode conductor is properly connected. If the grounding electrode conductor is not properly connected, it could create a shock hazard. To check the grounding electrode conductor, use a multimeter to measure the resistance between the grounding electrode and the equipment grounding system. The resistance should be low, typically less than 25 ohms. If the resistance is higher than 25 ohms, there may be a problem with the grounding electrode system. If you have any questions about grounding electrode conductors or grounding electrode systems, consult with a qualified electrician. Grounding is a critical aspect of electrical safety, and it's important to understand its purpose and how it works. The purpose of grounding is to provide a low resistance path for fault current to flow back to the source. This helps to protect people from electrical shock and to prevent fires. There are two main types of grounding: system grounding and equipment grounding. System grounding is the grounding of the neutral conductor of an electrical system. This is done to stabilize the voltage of the system and to provide a path for fault current to flow back to the source in the event of a ground fault. Equipment grounding is the grounding of the non-current carrying metal parts of equipment. This is done to protect people from electrical shock in the event of a fault. If there is a fault in the electrical system, the fault current will flow through the equipment grounding conductor back to the source. This will cause the circuit breaker to trip, which will cut off the power to the circuit. There are a number of different types of grounding electrodes that can be used. The most common types of grounding electrodes are metal rods, pipes, or plates that are buried in the ground. The NEC specifies the requirements for grounding electrodes. The NEC also specifies the requirements for grounding conductors. Grounding conductors must be sized according to the size of the overcurrent protection device protecting the circuit. Grounding conductors must be installed in the same raceway or cable as the circuit conductors. It is important to make sure that the grounding system is properly installed and maintained. If the grounding system is not properly installed or maintained, it could create a shock hazard. If you have any questions about grounding or grounding systems, consult with a qualified electrician. Several factors can contribute to the melting of a ground wire without tripping a circuit breaker. Ground fault current magnitude is a key consideration. Circuit breakers are designed to trip when the current exceeds their rated capacity. If the ground fault current is below the breaker's trip threshold, it won't trip, even if the current is high enough to melt the ground wire over time. Breaker response time is also important. Circuit breakers aren't instantaneous. They take a certain amount of time to trip, and this time varies depending on the type and rating of the breaker. If the ground fault current is present for a short duration, the breaker might not have enough time to trip before the ground wire overheats and melts. Furthermore, the ground wire size and material play a role. The ground wire's ampacity, or current carrying capacity, depends on its size and material. If the ground wire is undersized for the potential fault current, it will overheat and melt even if the breaker eventually trips. Also consider the breaker's health and maintenance. Over time, circuit breakers can degrade due to wear and tear, corrosion, or other factors. A degraded breaker might not trip as quickly or reliably as a new one. Regular inspection and maintenance are crucial to ensure proper breaker operation. In addition, the type of fault and system grounding can affect the outcome. The type of ground fault, such as a bolted fault versus a high impedance fault, can influence the magnitude of the fault current. High impedance faults might not generate enough current to trip the breaker immediately. The system grounding configuration, such as solidly grounded, impedance grounded, or ungrounded, also affects the fault current and breaker response. Finally, the presence of harmonics can contribute to the problem. Harmonics are distorted waveforms that can increase the RMS current in the ground wire, leading to overheating and melting even if the fundamental frequency current is below the breaker's trip threshold. Mitigation strategies include proper grounding and bonding. Ensuring that the electrical system is properly grounded and bonded is essential for safety. This includes using appropriately sized ground wires and making sure that all metallic enclosures and equipment are properly connected to the grounding system. Also, use ground fault protection. Ground fault circuit interrupters and ground fault relays can detect small ground faults and trip the circuit breaker quickly, preventing damage to equipment and protecting personnel. In addition, consider regular maintenance and testing. Regularly inspect and test circuit breakers to ensure that they are functioning properly. Replace any breakers that are damaged or degraded. Also, perform regular insulation resistance testing on wiring to identify potential ground faults before they become a problem. Finally, consider harmonic mitigation. If harmonics are a significant problem, install harmonic filters to reduce the RMS current in the ground wire. In summary, a melted ground wire without a tripped circuit breaker can occur due to a combination of factors, including insufficient fault current, slow breaker response, undersized ground wire, degraded breaker condition, type of fault, system grounding configuration, and harmonics. Proper grounding and bonding, ground fault protection, regular maintenance and testing, and harmonic mitigation can help to prevent this situation.